everyone, Lu here. Merry Christmas! As Christmas is only a few days away at the time this video goes up, I figured it was only time to do a video talking about Christmas specials. What better way to talk about the holiday season than talk about the best and worst specials from our good old buddies at Rankin Bass. Roll the intro and let's get started. I'll be starting off with the worst specials. Rankin Bass has a lot to offer. The kind I don't even think would be found in the dollar movie bin filled with all those Video Branquedo DVDs. At number 5, we have A Year Without a Santa Claus. Now, I know a lot of people actually really like this movie, and I do think it's one of the better looking Rankin Bass specials, but this movie is just a super fucking bummer, man. When I watch a Christmas special, I want to feel hope and the Christmas spirit, not see Santa go through depression. If I wanted to see a depressed Santa, I'd look at those deflated Santa Christmas decorations. The story is basically that Santa loses his mojo because some doctor was an asshole to him, so he gets sick for a year, and Mrs. Claus tries to help get her husband's Christmas spirit back where hijinks ensue. Then the movie's climax is a bunch of kids around the world singing Blue Christmas by Elvis, which is so damn sad that I don't feel jolly at all watching it. It's just a major bummer. The only thing really enjoyable is Heat Miser and Snow Miser, who easily have the most memorable song in this entire Christmas special. Overall, I'll have a blue Christmas if I have to see this special that bums me out. At number 4, we have Rudolph's Shiny New Year. It's probably the only New Year's special out there, but I really don't understand, most of this movie. Also, there is way too much fog in this movie that half the time I used to wonder if something fogged up my TV or computer screen. Tone down the fog. Basically, the baby New Year runs away because he's got big ol' ears, and Rudolph goes through different periods of time, forever placed on islands because it'll never turn to insert year here to avoid being dated. And this bird that dies every 100 years won't die and stuff if they don't find the baby. The whole thing is just to make a convoluted way of Rudolph bragging about his own story and to hammer in the message of, remember, they're laughing with you, not at you, which kinda doesn't make sense since the whole part is that he has big ol' ears that look silly. The only positive thing is the baby New Year, cause he looks really damn cute. Other than that, it was kinda boring, or at least not really that impressive. At number 3, we have Rudolph and the Island of Misfit Toys. First of all, it's CGI, and not the charming, clunky stop motion. Not that it's wrong to be CGI, obviously, but damn, the CGI in this movie is really ugly. The Rankin Bass puppets were 3-dimensional, so how do you make this look so ugly and clunky? The story is also kinda bad. I do appreciate Queen Camilla as someone who also occasionally customizes used dolls to breathe new life into them, which is a huge mood for me as a doll collector. But that's honestly it. The story is just Rudolph being insecure that he's super famous now, and this guy called the Toy Taker going around stealing all the toys of the world, cause eventually kids will stop loving them. Gee, it almost sounds like the Toy Taker is a salty toy who's taking toys from his own trauma. I'll be honest, the rest of this movie kinda feels like nothing happens. I mean, things happen, like Clarice became the first doe to fly, therefore creating equality for all does for years to come, and Hermie having a crush on the Tooth Fairy, but it feels like nothing is happening. We do find out who the Toy Taker is, and surprise, surprise, it's a salty teddy bear that's just a copy and paste of Jessie from Toy Story's backstory, except if Jessie got angry about it. His name is Mr. Cuddles, and he belonged to some kid named Steven that was super close with him, but Steven grew up and played Fortnite, I guess. So he puts Mr. Cuddles in a box where a dumbass adult Steven threw him out even though he meant for him to be a family heirloom. Mr. Cuddles is also dying, I think, because he's losing stuffing, so Queen Camilla fixes him up, and Santa brings him back to his owner, who has a kid of his own now, and wanted to give Mr. Cuddles to his daughter. I mean, There is some cute ideas here, but overall, it all kind of feels like it's ripping off plots from Toy Story in a sense. Funny enough, Toy Story 3 wasn't even considered yet, and this movie somehow managed to copy the passing toys down concept. The songs are just awful here too. Super last minute, poorly sung, and just so much more. I think just about the worst song here is the bootleg of When Somebody Loved Me, where Mr. Cuddles sings about what happened with him and Steven. Overall, not a great movie, though I do think that little bear is cute, and I would have loved to have a plush toy of him in real life when I was younger. At number 2, we have Heat Miser and Snow Miser's Christmas Special. I don't know why, but this special feels like it's going to advertise some kind of insurance literally any minute. It's kind of nice to see the stop motion again, but something about the quality just feels like a robot chicken parody or some kind of insurance commercial. The movie is also pretty generic, siblings should get along plot about Heat Miser and Snow Miser arguing to a point where Santa gets super injured and can't deliver toys. So Mother Nature suggests her sons fix Christmas. This is where the stereotypical sibling hijinks ensue, and there's a forced antagonist of their little brother or something who's just wind and wants to be the next Santa. Honestly, this movie is pretty bland. The redesigns look adorable and a much higher quality version of the original ones, which I absolutely love, but everything else doesn't blend well with the style of the original Heat Miser and Snow Miser models. The elves, Santa, and Mr. Claus all look adorable, but they look like they come from a completely different movie, and their bootleg Gaston brother looks like the villain from The Corpse Bride. The engineer elf also looks like she's gonna sell me insurance. While this special is not bad visually, it's musically pretty bad and overall just a really generic Christmas special. And to number 1, The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. I did a review of this last year and this special is still awful. It's boring, feels like a Lord of the Rings bootleg, and doesn't even feel like a story about fucking Santa. I've said all I need to say in the review for it, but this special is just so weird and awful. You could definitely see a weird decline in Rankin Bass specials with this one, that's for fucking sure. Now onto the good Christmas specials, the ones I look forward to every year or genuinely enjoyed the most. Though no honorable mentions this time around because this video is already pretty long and I feel like it kinda makes the video seem a little wonky since I didn't put any for the worst. Just know that the ones that didn't make it here are also good, just not the best or something I would put in a top 10 list instead. At number 5, we have The First Christmas, the story of the first Christmas snow. Now here's a fun fact, up until this video, I had only ever seen this special once. I'm not sure why, but this special never airs on any TV stations during the holidays aside from that one time I mentioned. And to think I watched it completely on accident while waiting for Frosty the Snowman. The story is about a nun who finds an orphan shepherd who was struck by lightning and is now blind, but it's unknown if it's permanent or not. The boy is really sweet and the nun hopes to keep him there, but the rude priest says the children belong in an orphanage, but she's allowed to keep him there until he's better. Minor hijinks ensue that I guess have a lesson in not being little shit to blind kids. All the while, the shepherd boy just really wants to see snow even though he's blind. Also, the town isn't in a location that snows, so it's like asking for the impossible, so basically asking for a snowy Christmas in California. Yet on Christmas Eve, as the children are performing a nativity scene for a Christmas pageant, snow finally falls down onto the church through the windows and a crack on the ceiling, I guess, where Christmas magic snow falls on the boy's eyes and he's finally able to see again. Never forget, people, if you are struck by lightning on your face and live, magic Christmas eye drops will bring back your vision. 4 out of 5 optometrists recommend it. In all seriousness though, this special is only 25 minutes long, so it is a bit rushed, but it's also very sweet. It's a short little story that said what it wanted to, and I just really liked it. Angela Lansbury is also the nun in this movie, and she's just a delight to hear in any movie. It's just super wholesome. While it's not super Christmassy with, you know, the lack of tinsel and shiny ornaments, it does have a wonderful charm that Waiting for Christmas brings, and I love that for it. Though I have no idea why this doesn't air on TV a lot. I'm guessing not a lot of people like this one, or maybe it gets lost in the big-ass catalog of Rankin Bass specials. Overall, really cute short, and I hope it airs someday more on TV because that's kinda has the potential of becoming lost media someday, especially when I was only able to find it in shitty quality on Vimeo and a DVD listing for Amazon, and considering DVDs are on their way out, this should probably be saved. At number 4, we have The Little Drummer Boy. Despite this being the darkest Rankin Bass special I think they've ever made, as literal murder and sheep death are on screen, I do actually really love this special. The music is memorable and charming, and the rendition of the song this special is based on is genuinely a beautiful score. Of course, this is a very religious Christmas special, much like The Prince of Egypt is a very religious movie from DreamWorks. But I think you can enjoy something without being religious. It has a story that I think can still resonate with people even if they're not religious in particular or have a different point of view. And it's on the darker scale of Rankin Bass specials, and considering a lot of you enjoy stories with a darker tone, I think you guys may enjoy this one. Oddly enough, this one doesn't bum me out the way A Year Without a Santa Claus does. It actually puts me in a pretty good mood after all, but this is probably just due to my nostalgia talking, as I played this one a lot as a kid. The story is about a boy named Aaron, the son of a shepherd whose parents were brutally murdered by bandits. He escaped into the night before he could get hurt with only his animal friends, which are a donkey, camel, and sheep. Aaron is then found by a con man who hears Aaron playing with a drum that his parents gifted to him before they died. The con man wants to use him as a street performer because he's pretty sick with that little drum and can communicate with his animal friends. He's kidnapped by this con man and forced to perform in the street, where he sings a song that's pretty adorable about animals smiling, but Aaron is an angry boy. After the brutal loss of his parents, he grew a deep hatred for all humans and just wants to be alone with his animals. When he sees people laughing and smiling at this song because they think it's adorable, because it clearly is, he snaps at them because he can't understand why people can laugh and smile when his parents were murdered. I mean, it's not like they knew, but he's also a kid, so I get it. Pissed that Aaron fucked up his chance of money, the con man sells his camel to one of the wise men who need him to travel to bring their myrrh to a special baby, which I'm sure you all know who that baby is. Angrier than before, Aaron follows the star the wise men are following to steal back his camel. In front of the barn where the famous baby is, Aaron runs at the sight of his camel, but his little sheep wasn't looking where he was going and was run over by a Roman soldier. With his sheep dying, he runs to one of the kings to ask him what he should do as he's dying, and he doesn't want to lose him. That's when one of the wise men tells him that giving a gift to the baby will surely bring his sheep back from the brink of death. So Aaron comes to the baby to perform the infamous song. While this part is definitely the most religious of all of Rankin Bass's specials, I do think there's something to take here for those who aren't or celebrate something else. All throughout this special, Aaron holds in and expresses a lot of hatred and anger over what happened to him, yet in that moment where he's performing, it's letting go of that hatred to harbor only love for his animal friends that finally makes things go right for him. His performance was rewarded with his sheep brought back to life, where he lived happily ever after and later helped in a pretty alright sequel. I think the idea of learning to let go of your hatred or anger is something I think everyone needs to learn at some point. While it may or may not be the best looking special here, I think it did a pretty good job at telling the tale of letting go of your anger and hatred and learning to accept love and selflessness. It's also perfect for people who want something a little different than the sleigh bells and mistletoe of Christmas. Overall, I think this is a pretty good special. At number 3, we have Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Well, this special is pretty mixed with people because of the mixed messages, and I do believe they are a little mixed here. I do still love this movie a lot. As a kid, I actually had the dolly from this movie, which I will never understand why she was a misfit toy when she was literal perfection, but okay. As a kid, Rudolph was something I really loved, and it's super nostalgic to me. I had a lot of toys of Rudolph, and I can remember all the fun I had with those toys and the adventures I went on with them. Not to mention that the music here is just absolutely adorable. Every song here is charming, memorable, and well sung that it's no wonder this special has become one of the most popular Christmas specials ever made. The colors and puppets are also really cute too. Santa and his elves look absolutely adorable, and Rudolph also looks very cute. Like literally everything Rankin Bass, the animation itself is a little clunky and choppy, but that's the charm here. It has this wholesome shoestring budget which adds to the cuteness of the special. Well, the story is about Rudolph, who's a reindeer born with a glowing red nose. Why? We find out in a mediocre special that some shitty fairy put a spell on him the day he was born, or something. He's kind of a freak because it blinds the fuck out of people like a shining highway beam in someone's face. He also has no control over his nose, I think. Either that or it only glows when he's really happy or worried, which causes trouble later on. His father is ashamed of his nose, which seems like it's definitely a metaphor for something here, so he tries to hide it with some dirt. Years go by and it's time for Rudolph to learn to be a flying reindeer, where he gets really excited that a girl named Clarice called him cute, where his fake nose pops off and starts blinding the fuck out of everyone. Santa's mad Rudolph's father lied, Clarice's father thinks he's a freak, and everyone else makes fun of him, so he runs away. He then meets an elf who wants to be a dentist, and the two decide to run away from home along with a weird miner guy named Yukon who's obsessed with finding silver and gold. Also, he's trying to get away from the abominable snowman, which is adorably called the Bumble. They go on an island of misfit toys and plan to stay there, but Rudolph feels like he doesn't belong there either, so he runs away from his new friends too, where he becomes a fully grown reindeer and decides to go back home. That's when he finds out his entire family was kidnapped by the Bumble in looking for Rudolph, so he goes to rescue them and his friends. Oddly enough, Clarice didn't grow up at all, either that or she's just really fucking tiny. Big mood, to be honest. They defeat the Bumble thanks to Hermie ripping out all of his teeth like some kind of Saw-esque torture, and Yukon decides to save the day by throwing himself off the cliff with the Bumble, and Rudolph goes back home with all his new friends and family. They tell Santa about everything, and Santa agrees to find homes for the misfit toys. Which, by the way, all the Misfit toys are absolutely adorable and memorable to me, so I can't see why no one would want the absolute Chad that is a Charlie in the box. As it turns out, Yukon is alive, and the Bumble is harmless now, cause Yukon and him talked it out, I guess? At least he has a job now, and it's literally just hanging the star up on the tree every Christmas. Though a major fog hits and Santa isn't sure whether he'll be able to deliver Christmas presents, but Rudolph's shiny-ass highway beam nose could light up the fog to help Santa see where the fuck he's going. Basically, Rudolph's new job is highway lights on a foggy night, so he's got a good job for himself. Everyone lives happily ever after. Despite the mixed signals of your disabilities only being useful if it's beneficial for society, I actually quite like this movie. It's just really cute, and it's number 3 for a reason. This is like almost peak Rankin Bass charm right here. At number 2, we have 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Easily one of the sweetest. Not only is it that Victorian era aesthetic that goes hand in hand with Christmas, but it's got one of the cutest songs that I will still sing every Christmas, even when it's been a while since I last heard them. The animation isn't actually that bad here either, since Rankin Bass always made their 2D animation look a lot better than their stop-motion ones, as we know from The Last Unicorn and The Hobbit, and the designs are absolutely adorable. The story is about a little shit mouse who doesn't believe in Santa, so he sends a letter to Santa, telling him he's just a bunch of bullshit and signs it All of Us, which undoubtedly makes Santa pissed, and decide to just skip an entire task town that Christmas. The mouse's father, who's the assistant to a clockmaker, teaches his son that he needs to let up a little and give his heart a try instead of believing in only what he can see. Basically, he needs some damn imagination because Christmas isn't fun when you're all serious and logic. The clockmaker vows to fix the situation by making a huge clock that'll ring out a loud as fuck song to call Santa back to town to let him know that they all still believe and love him, waking up the entire town in the process. Yet the little shit mouse fucks up again by experimenting with the clock where it goes haywire, and basically cancel culture ensues where they blame the clockmaker and he's losing money fast. That's when a beautiful number comes in where he tells his kids not to lose hope yet by basically saying a miracle needs a hand. Little Mouse hears this and feels awful that he literally ruined Christmas for an entire town, so hours before midnight he races up to go fix the clock. By 11:59 and some seconds, he just barely manages to fix it, where the clock chimes out a loud as fuck song that calls Santa to the entire town to give everyone presents, waking up many people in the process. That's when the classic poem is told with another adorable Santa design shown, and everything ends happily ever after. Honestly, the cutest special here, it's so cheerful, colorful, and has some of the cutest songs ever. Aside from number 1, anyway. Overall, precious special. Easily one of my favorites. And now to number 1, the moment you've all been waiting for. Number 1, Santa Claus is coming to town. Easily my favorite Christmas special and the most nostalgic one. Is it generic to put it at number 1? Maybe it is. I can't help it though. This special is just everything that makes Rankin Bass special so charming and adorable. The music is catchy, the budget was so small that it's adorable, and the designs are really damn cute. The story is about a mailman from the North Pole who decides to answer some kids' letters about the origins of Santa. So basically literally every YouTuber's publicist when they get comments about their life. I have to wonder how the hell this mailman knows so much about Santa, but I always like to think the mailman was like Santa's son or something. Santa's origins in this movie is that he was an orphan left on the doorstep of the Burgermeister Burger, which I think is the town mayor? The Burgermeister is an ass who doesn't want an orphan, so he tells his lawkeeper and assistant to take him away to an orphanage where a dangerous storm caused by the Winter Warlock sends the baby flying and to the doorstep of some elves where they adopted Santa and named him Kris Kringle as to explain his alternate name. Santa grew up happy to make toys, trains with some animals, and pretty much was raised with kindness and optimism. We even find out some lore with the elves. The Kringle family actually used to make toys for the king, but eventually stopped, likely due to the Burgermeister family who also served the king. When he became an adult, Santa decides he's going to deliver all the toys the Kringles made over the years to children in Somber Town, which is the town Santa was born, coincidentally enough, as the evil ice wizard of the mountain made it difficult for the Kringles to make it over there. But the Burgermeister had unfortunately banned all toys. Santa tries to confront him, but he has to run away for now, where he meets the ice wizard named the Winter Warlock. He gives him a toy, which he never had before, and it melts his evil heart where he learns how to be good instead of an asshole who causes blizzards. Eventually, kids start asking for more toys because the Burgermeister keeps destroying them, which causes Santa to leave them at night so no one tries to stop him. But soon parents lock their doors for obvious reasons, which causes Santa to go down the chimney. Not sure how the hell Santa got into houses without chimneys, but I guess they never explain that to kids who don't have chimneys, so I guess he came from the toilet? Though the Burgermeister starts inspecting houses for toys, which causes Santa to hide the toys in the children's stockings to explain why we have Christmas stockings. Funny to me though, because my stockings were always filled to the brim with my favorite candies, while my toys were always under the tree. Jessica, Santa's girlfriend and the future Mrs. Claus, finds out that the Burgermeister has had enough and arrests all the Kringles and the Winter Warlock guy for making toys where they were thrown into prison. Except Jessica, despite being an accomplice, she goes to them and the Warlock gives some magic corn that permanently gives Santa's reindeer friends the ability to fly, and I guess biologically changes them considering Rudolph is canon here. That's when everyone runs to the North Pole to get away from the Burgermeister, and that's when Santa gets the idea to put his castle there and deliver gifts to kids on Christmas Eve, the purest day of the year, filled with peace on earth and goodwill towards men and all that Christmas stuff. Though Santa wasn't considered an outlaw anymore after a while because the Burgermeister family died off and fell out of power, and everyone basically forgot all about that stupid-ass law he made. It ends with the cutest rendition of Santa Claus is Coming to Town I'll ever hear in my life, and that's the end. When you're a kid, this movie answers pretty much every question you have about Santa. The music is charming, the characters are just darling, and overall fills me with the happiness and optimism of Christmas. Overall, I absolutely adore this special, and I can't see that changing anytime soon. Of course, all of these, the animation rivals that of an 8-year-old's first attempt at stop motion, but otherwise really charming specials that aged surprisingly well considering a lot of these are from the 60s and early 70s. I hope you guys enjoyed the video though. Let me know down below what you think. Do you like Rankin Bass? Do you have a favorite special or movie by them? Let me know down below. Hey guys, thanks for watching! If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new. And if any older new subs would like to help support the channel in any possible way, my Ko-fi page is down below in the description along with all of my social media. For any subscribers, new or old, who would like to help with video ideas or maybe just want to talk about anime or something, then I have a fan server linked down below. See you next time!